Hello, replay viewers. Thank you for watching this super impromptu scope. I was about to go to sleep, and for some reason I felt like scoping, so here I am with my crazy hair and everything. Hello! I'm gonna get my quote book. Let's see what the quote is today. Why can I not find the quote book? Hi, Arlen! I have to find where the heck I put my quote book. But I figured it's been a while since we looked at the quote of the day. And for some reason I was feeling like scoping today. It's been like probably a month, or I guess we did the pineapple thing at one point, but yeah. And then I'm going to sleep. So what is, oh, I should have looked up today's date. Today is what, the 22nd of September? Oh my gosh, you want to know the last time we did the quote of the day? I know, it's growing because of the fruit and vegetable capsules. Like, whenever I started taking them 4 months ago, like, yeah, it like started growing really crazy, and I wasn't expecting that, actually. The last time we did a quote of the day was June. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. I don't even remember July, and I would have assumed it was August, but it's September. So September 22nd today. I know, just a couple. You know, like, live broadcasting is really exhausting. Before we get into the quote of the day, like, if anyone has followed my channel and has not ever done live broadcasting, like, when I was scoping every day, it's really incredible how much time it, like, takes up. Not only, like, actually talking and doing the scope, which, as you know, mine always are way longer than planned, but, like, the kind of mental preparation, and then, like, most of the time people, like, get all, like, done up. Obviously, that's not happening here, but, a lot of people, like, get, like, a little set together, and, like, I don't even, what is in my background right now? My air conditioner? And then afterwards, it's just, like, you almost feel like you, like, let the screen, like, suck your soul out. Not always in, like, a bad way, but I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like being in the sun. If you've ever been in the sun and out and about all day, you'll know what I mean. Like, you were having fun, and, like, the time was still the same amount of time, but, like, you're so exhausted, like, even though you're doing the same stuff you would be doing not in the sun. So that's why I stopped doing as much Periscope, because I just, like, was so tired. And Snapchat is the same way. Like, that freaking story I just put up tonight took me 35 minutes. And what, Snapchat is maybe, like, 10 seconds each. So 35 minutes for, like, maybe, like, a 3-minute snap. That's not a good conversion. Well, thank you. I'm glad that at least somebody else thinks I'm funny, because I think it's hilarious, and I think I would do it even if I wasn't posting it to people just to laugh at myself. So, alright. What is the quote of the day? Should we do the 22nd or the 23rd, since we're... Wait. Should we do the 21st or the 22nd, since we're in the night of the 21st, right? I think. Okay, let's do the 21st. It's even shorter and more sweet. Let's see. September 21st is from Sue Cox, and it says, "A compliment is the lift in the elevator of life." A compliment is the lift in the elevator of life. Okay, that was really short. I've never heard that one. I don't know who Sue Cox is. Yeah. Simple and, like, probably has quite a lot of meaning. You know, when I think of it, I think a lot about the conversations I've had to start having with growing my business, which is constantly a learning process for me. I am very blunt naturally and to the point, a little pushy, some might say, including many ex-boyfriends and old friends. But I have had to learn, like I've actually had to educate myself on how to talk to people, which seems counterintuitive, but it actually is the only way for me to act like a human being to other people. And one thing I definitely have learned over time is to be nice to people. And, like, when you're nice to people, then you kind of get, like, a happier life out of it. So it's kind of interesting that she's calling these nice words, like, the lift of the elevator of life. So, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, obviously. But if you do have something nice to say, don't hold it to yourself and lift other people. Oh, look at that. Lift other people up, and that will lift you up in the elevator of life. Communication can be a full-time job. Being nice is a full-time and a half job. Yeah, I agree. Which is, yet again, probably why Periscope is very tiring. Snapchat's very tiring. Like, that's all a lot of communication, and it can get, it is like a job. Like, I totally agree with what you're saying right there. And have you ever heard of a mood elevator? Hey, Pizza Pop-Tart! How's it going? I have not been on here in a very long time. Just to catch you up, I read the quote of the day, and the quote of the day is from Sue Cox, and she says, "A compliment is the lift in the elevator of life." And so we were just discussing what that meant. And also I was asking if you've ever heard of a mood elevator. When I was in corporate world, I remember one training I had to go to was talking about asking yourself each day where your mood elevator is. Of course, you know, they didn't follow any of these wise tips, so I was kind of relentless to listen to them. However, they somehow managed to stick into my head. And it's kind of like, there's a mood elevator. Like, you could be, like, really high, like, super joyous one day. I compliment random people. Hope elevator isn't going down. That's, yeah, like, and isn't it kind of cool how even if they don't accept your compliment, like, you still feel better? Like, just because it just feels nice being nice to people. Sometimes I'm a little facetious sometimes, and, like, I can get a little carried away, and I almost try to see, like, who can I make most awkward by complimenting, and I like watching people's reactions when you just say something really nice, and they're like, what do you want? But yeah, so the mood elevator, like, you know, you can have your, like, baseline, this is, like, your ground floor, and this is when you're just, like, calm, and just, like, you. Nothing crazy, nothing sad. And then you can get, like, some higher, like, elevated states of being, like, you're really happy, and, like, or you could just be, like, kind of, like, feeling good, like, oh, have a good day. And then there's, like, other times where we're just, like, super freaking excited, you know? But you can't live on that realm either. That's, like, too much, too often. I think you're adrenal, like, you'll get adrenal fatigue if you do that. And I'm sure if you watch Lim, My Nerdy Acupuncture, then you'll know what I mean. So, but then, you could have some days where you're, like, in the lower realms of the mood elevator, where, like, either you're just kind of, like, feeling a little out of it, like, that's natural, or maybe, like, maybe hit a little nerve, and you're a little agitated or sad, and then some days, like, you may just be really down in the dumps, and then if it's too bad, then that's when you kind of get into those really heavy ones, like anger and, like, jealousy, the power of now. Did I read that yet? Maybe not. Can you tweet me that if you remember, because I will put it on my list. I've been trying to listen and read to as many on Hoopla as I can, since they're free with my library card, and I listen to them on the way to my new job. You don't get that low. Well, that's nice. That is hopefully not a commonplace for anyone, even though I've been there. I've lived in those deep places for too much of my life in the past. And so, like, you don't really want to visit the basement. That's where all the ghosts and creepy things are, right? You go and see, I go and see my cats. And, like, who can't feel better after that, Like, you just kind of look at them and be like, how the heck can they just be so happy all the time? Like, I guess there's really not that much to worry about. They don't seem to even notice, So, that mood elevator is kind of a cool way of also gauging, like, this compliment being a lift in the elevator of life. Sometimes you need that compliment. Sometimes you're, like, in the lower realms of your mood elevator, and imagine what it would be like if somebody gave you a compliment. It would, like, kind of help you lift back up to, like, either, like, a calm state or maybe even to those higher states. And then if you're just having a fine day and you don't necessarily need a compliment, then if you have something nice to say, offer it to somebody, because they may look like they're totally fine, but they may need that boost, so might as well give it to people. Cats have an I don't care attitude, yes. Although my one cat has that attitude, and my other cat has the please pet me, pay attention to me attitude. Yeah, have a good night. I will see you. I don't know when I'll be back on here. Just felt like jumping on here really quick. So, yeah, let's think about that tomorrow. See how many compliments you can give somebody, and if you feel like telling me, then tell me. And if not, then that's fine too. Alright, well, I'm going to go to sleep, and now I'm going to think up a bunch of compliments. I'm going to try to see how many people I can compliment tomorrow and not expect anything in return, because that's another thing that I'm learning is to just do my best and not necessarily do it for an outcome. And that's another lesson in itself. So I thank you other people for being here that I never saw a name, but okay. Yeah. It's one, like, side note on it is, like, after reading what book? I read a book about communication, big shocker, and I don't know if it was the Four Agreements or a little bit had to do with this book called Love and Respect. That was a very interesting book. And probably attached the book. Those had a lot of interesting viewpoints on, like, how to talk to people and, like, how there's different communication types and stuff like that. Oh, and maybe the 5 love languages too. Like, lots of relationship books talk about, like, interpersonal communication. And when I stopped saying, like, the words, like, you or, like, so blaming types of sentences, and only came out with sentences that are, like, nice compliments or things that only have to do with, like, how I feel and nothing else, then it really changed a lot of the relationships that I have with people, like close relationships and even like confrontations that are with like strangers and stuff. Yeah, the 5 Love Languages was really good. Like, I listened to that on Hoopla and learned a lot. Like, it's very basic, you know, I think we've discussed this before, but it's a good starter, like, understanding of, like, different types of people, and I actually almost liked the 5 languages of apology better, because the love languages one was kind of, like, obvious to me, like, it was, like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see that, but then, like, the apology one, I was like, what? There's, like, 5 different ways that people accept apologies? Like, I just thought you just said sorry, or, like, something like that. But then I learned a lot about the apologizing. Some people have to have, like, a certain verbiage for their mind to, like, click and actually accept an apology. And I use that one now in all of my confrontations, especially, like, you know, running a business and also working with people. You step on people's toes. I mean, it's a crowded world out there, and it's going to happen, so you're going to have issues. And once I started applying those techniques, like, knowing to, like, say I'm sorry, say the thing that I did was, like, my fault, and then make sure to ensure that it will never happen again, and ask for forgiveness, and then tell them that I was, like, feeling terrible about it. Like, I think that was 5, possibly. That I, like, cover all my bases, and I feel like even the least forgiving people that I know seem to, like, drop their issues a lot faster. And that has a lot to do, again, with the not using, like, you sentences and changing my verbiage into I feel. And it feels really scripted at first and a little bit weird, but I'm starting to get into a habit, so there's not so much, like, delay when I'm, like, trying to say, like, you made it, I feel, like, hurt. Apologize. Yeah. So, yeah, so that helps a lot with the complimenting, too. The more you're complimenting, then that takes away from the time that you're talking about, like, blaming or, like, pointing, like, a negative connotation or just saying, like, degrading things. I mean, I have a really bad habit of actually being quite sarcastic and saying some like pointing out, like, bad things. I'm not, like, trying to, like, make people feel bad, but I just, like, make jokes of things, and that's been, like, really hard for me to stop doing. And so the more that I just try to look for, like, compliments, which is a little bit awkward, but I'm doing it. It's working. It's making things better in my life. Yeah. Even whenever you want to punch them in the face. Okay. Well, I'm going to sleep, and I have no idea when I'll be on Periscope again. However, I've been a little bit better at being on Snapchat, because I can at least just, you know, go on and make really small, short clips if all else fails, because obviously I'm very long-winded on here, because there's no, like, timer, and if you only knew how many times I have to redo my snaps because I want to say, like, this much stuff in this amount of time. Good night. Bye, Arlen. I will see you for sure next Thursday, though, on the Core 4 thing, and I will see people on watching the replay whenever I come on here again. So, bye!